trying out a different microphone. We'll then test the audio in a minute. We'll see if it's suitable. Trying to get away from the headset after being in the headset for the past day and change. Slated to start 3:45. All the meet information is in Meet Mobile, so download that to your phone or tablet. You do not need to subscribe. But this session will start with event 77 and go through to 92. Bottom right of your screen, you should see in the white text. That is the menu of events there for this Sunday 13 and over session. Odd numbers for the girls, even numbers for the boys. The chat is open. If anybody has questions or comments, feel free to put them in the chat. I will try and keep an eye on it. If somebody is on your phone or tablet somewhere easy, you can put a comment. Let me know how the audio sounds. Hopefully it's... Oh, I should do this. Let me... There we go. Test, test. Okay. All right, thank you. Appreciate it. Huh? Oh. I didn't I just see hey. Okay, thank you. All right, so slated to start 3:45. It is 3:40 p.m. here. Again, we're starting with event 77, 200 medley relay. Top right of your screen, the orange text, those are the three teams that are going to be in Heat 1. We have 3 heats total. What is this? Do you want a banana? No. All right, me neither. All right. So with the upcoming relays, we're going to have team designations like with the letter A, B, C, D. So you'll see on the top right in the teams that it will be in that first heat. This will be their lane assignment. Now I've updated the teams that will be in Heat 2 of 3 up on the top right. So if you're not familiar, why is that? All right, my scoreboard feed on the top left is flickering, so that's on my side, not on yours. Just real quick, run through some of the team abbreviations. MYM is Montclair, RY Ridgewood. So you see those on the screen. WY is Westfield. And again, I always say that slowly because WFY is Wyckoff Family YMCA. FSPY, Fanwood Scotch Plains. What else? Who else? GMY, Greater Morristown YMCA. MAY, Madison Area Y. That's who we have in these first few relays. Let me jump to some of the individual races and we'll See if we missed any. GMY, May. All right. This isn't going to work. Test, test. All right, we're going to go with this microphone for a little bit until my ears hurt, and then we'll switch up. All right, so looks like teams are making their way out to the deck on the back right side. All starts will start on the right-hand side. We only have blocks on the right-hand side. We only have touch pads on the right-hand side. It's a 25-yard pool. Here's an overview, so all starts on the right side. Deep end on the right side, obviously, with the start end. So I have a camera on the right side, camera in the middle, and a camera on the left side. Depending on the race and how things are going, I might go to a roaming camera to kind of find somebody, highlight somebody. We'll stay here for maybe a team cheer to start from the Madison team grouping up, huddling up. All right, I keep the scoreboard on the whole time on the top left. Gives you the ability to see the splits. All splits will be available in Meet Mobile. Takes a little time to get it pushed through after any DQs or finish times need to be sanity checked against the manual stopwatches. All right, we do not have all the timers behind the blocks, and the officials are not on deck. It is 3:45 right now. All right, now the white shirts, the officials are making their way out. And then you'll see parents, volunteers behind the blocks have clipboards and stopwatches. So each lane's then have two volunteers. Each will have a stopwatch. One will have a clipboard, and then the other will be responsible for using the plunger or the backup timer, which is tied into the timing system. All right. If you are new to watching swimming and you have any questions, feel free to put it in the chat. We'll try and answer it. I am recording this. The internet here yesterday wasn't ideal, so I will have a copy to upload higher quality. I'll do that tonight or tomorrow. So if you are watching this in the future, please take a look for that. If you just go to the main channel, it'll be under videos, and I normally label them ENCORE, just to represent it's a different copy than the live stream. All right, Mr. Looney, if you're out there, I saw your comment last night. What had happened is the session last night was 4 hours long, and YouTube takes a little time to they basically re-encode it from a live stream to something that you then re-watch. And it was really interesting how long that took. So there was a period of time that it was only had 30 minutes. So I saw your comment. I checked on it late last night and it finished. But I also did put another copy up there as labeled as ENCORE should that live copy fail. All right. All right, again, that flickering on the top left scoreboard, that is on my side. I'm pulling my hair out why it's doing it, why it started right now in the last session. All right, those announcements you heard were coming from the officials below me. All right. All right, now they're going down the line, looking for all the timers. All right, good protocol there. Check in. All right, here's our lane assignments. Looks like we're going to be getting started. Again, we're starting with event 77, 13 and over, 200-yard medley relay. 3 teams, you see their lane assignments. This is heat 1 of 3. Heat 2 will be on the top right. Those are the teams up next. We are underway. Again, this is heat 1 of 3 with the 3 teams. In the pool, lane 3, Arinola, lane 4, Annie, lane 5, Anika. Those are the first swimmers. Again, this is a 200. Each swimmer swimming 50 yards down and back. We'll go back, breast, fly, free. All right, here's the swimmers coming back into the wall. Entering the pool, lane 3 will be Elena, 4, Emma, 5, Pima. Okay, lane 3 is Montclair E, lane 4, Ridgewood B, lane 5, Montclair C. All right, let's go wide shot. Entering the pool, lane 3 will be Jill, 4, Stella, 5, Julia. Third leg in, butterfly. Then we'll go to freestyle on the next leg. That is lane 5 leading, followed by 4 and then 3. So Montclair C, Ridgewood B, Montclair E. We'll go above, entering the pool in lane 5. The lead group, Ava. Middle, lane 4, Chloe. And then up top, lane 3, Laney. Here comes Laney about to enter the pool. It will jump forward. There's Laney in. Okay, again, those names are probably correct, but there might have been last-minute changes that didn't get presented to the office. I'm just reading off what was presented as part of the heat sheets. All right, this is Ava Lewis coming in fast. Nice swim, 27.3 on that split. Awesome. All right, ignore the first place finish there for lane 3. That's a fact of a relay swimmer getting out, touching the pad, and triggering it, thinking the swimmer had finished. All right, that was heat 1 of 3. Here's our teams for heat 2. And on the top right, we'll get the names for heat 3. Those are now updated. You see if we have all 8 lanes up there. All right, heat 2 of 3. Underway. In the pool, let's read some names. Lane 2, Celine. 3 for FSPY, Evelyn. 4, Emily. 5, Anna. 6, Hadash. 7 is Brooke. About to enter the pool. Here we go. Lane 2, Sophia. 3, Caitlin. 4, Sarasha. 5, Mayuka. 6, Deanna. And 7, Samantha, closest to us right there, entering. All right, all the swimmers away. All right, second leg with the breaststroke. Then we have butterfly freestyle. All right, about to enter the pool. Here we go. We'll have Kennedy in 2. 3 is Trisha. 4, Peyton. 5, Olivia. 6, Molly. 7, Tiffany. All right, I'm reading in lane order, not in running order. I don't know which would be preferred. All right, in lane order, lane 2, Emily, lane 3, Anastasia, lane 4, Allie, lane 5, Nicole, lane 6, Annabelle, lane 7, Verity. All right, lead group turning at that far end. Again, this is heat 2 of 3. So that is lanes 3, 4, and 5. Fanwood, Scotch Plains, Westfield, and then Ridgewood closest to us. All right, looks like Westfield goes low. Oh, come on, scoreboard. 2:05.78. They came in on a 2:12.22. That's 6 and change. That is driving me nuts. All right, nice job. So that was heat 2 of 3. Here are the teams for final heat here, heat 3 of 3. So we have Morristown, Montclair, Madison B, Madison A, Morristown A, Montclair A, Madison C, Madison D. In the pool, we have Abby, Paloma, Alexa, Hannah, Kendall, Magnolia, Dabani, and Lily in 8. All right, entering the pool, Aria, Holly, Juliana, Caroline, Sierra, Brianna, Annie, and Bridget. Second swimmers in, breaststrokers. Again, I'm reading these in lane order, so about to enter lane 1 is Sienna, 2 Harper, 3 Lily, 4 Isla, 5 Oriana, 6 Colette, 7 Maya, and 8 Anza. All right. You can pause, you can rewind. It won't affect anybody else if you want to go back, catch the names after the fact. All right, this is the last transition coming up. We'll have our freestylers entering. Lane 1, Emma. 2 is Kelly. 3, Jillian. 4, Sophie. 5, Maria. 6, Alexa. 7, Aura, and Una in 8. We'll jump forward in a second. All right, lead groups turning at the far end. This is lane 6 and 5 coming home. Lane 6 is Montclair A, and then to their left is Morristown A. Looks like Montclair's gonna take it low time. They go 1:58. Lane 6 came in on a 2:02.92. That's 4+ seconds improvement there. Nice job, ladies. And I have not updated the names yet. All right, again, you can rewind that. Sorry with the names. It's a little challenging with all the relay teams, but hopefully you were able to catch that. If not, you'll hear the story tonight when the kids get home. All right, here it is. Heat 1 of 3 on the boys' side. Underway. Names on the top right are the Heat 2 teams. All right, in the pool, lane 3, GMY, Shawnock. Lane 4, Montclair D is Miles. Lane 5, Westfield C, James. Okay, entering in lane 2 is Paul. Lane 3 is Paul. Lane 4, Lukesh. Lane 5, Durin. All right, everybody's in. Second swimmer's in. All right. Furthest away from us, Morristown C. In the middle, Montclair D. Closest to us, Westfield C. Entering the pool here, third swimmers, lane 3, Alejandro, lane 4, Soren, lane 5, Mateo. Drew even there, halfway through. Nice swimming, guys. What's the slow split? 23. Is that accurate? I don't know. All right, butterflyers making their way back. Freestylers about to enter will be lane 3, Sidi, lane 4, Frank, lane 5, Hayden. Again, this is heat 1 of 3. And we're into the finish, low time there for that lane 4. Again, ignore the board. We get swimmers, if they don't clear in time as they're getting out, they basically will, what's going on? Will cause the timing system to think that a swimmer's coming in touching versus swimmer getting out. It has no way to differentiate. So there is a short lockout period where it won't recognize a touch, but if the swimmer doesn't get out in that time, then that's a problem. All right, in the pool, lane 2, Noah, 3, Carter, 4, Cooper, 5, Liam, 6, Parker, 7, Benjamin. Okay, entering in lane 2, Leon, lane 3, Sam, lane 4, EJ, 5, Hutton, 6, Hudson, 7, Christopher. All right, second swimmer is all in. Lead group already at the far end. Let's see if we can spot some faces. All right, we're going to get third swimmers entering. Here we go. Lane 2, Tommy, 3, Maxwell, 4, Alexander, 5, Luca, 6, Samuel, 7, William Frost. All right, lead group's already turned at the far end. Strong butterflyer coming back at us. All right, entering the pool, lane 2, Luca, lane 3, Gabe, 4, Ethan, 5, Stanley, 6, Sam, 7, Andrew. That is our lead group in 4. That's Fanwood Scotch Plains A team. That'll be Ethan. All right, everybody's in. Here's Ethan coming home. All right, I didn't look. Did that just post there? I guess so, yeah. So Ethan came home 25-25. There's a 25-45 for lane 3. That was Gabe Espruti. Nice swim, guys. Oh, shucks. We didn't update names. Hold on, we'll get the names for the final heat. All right, here's our final heat lane assignments. Heat 3 of 3, Madison C, Ridgewood B, Madison B, Madison A, Ridgewood A, Montclair A, Morristown A, and then Ridgewood C in 8. They have a 203. All right, in the pool, lane 1, Owen, 2, Aldous, 3, Ike, 4, Jack, 5, Christian, 6, Hayden, 7, Tyler, and 8, Sebi. Entering the pool, 1, Cooper, 2, Harma, 3, Michael, 4, Evan, 5, Ryan, 6, Ryan. That's Ryan Reese in 6. 7, Nicholas Roman. 8 is Andy Sue. All right, the boys are ready at the far end. The other Ryan was Narzari in 5. These are second swimmers, breaststrokers. All right, butterflyers about to enter. 1, Sean, 2, Drew, 3, Artharva, 4, Jonathan, 5, Parth, 6, Ronan, 7, Smarin, and 8 is Zachary. That is lane 4, leads group. That's Madison A. Entering the pool, lane 1, Blake, 2, Daniel, 3, Alejandro, 4, Ben, 5, Ethan, 6, Raylon, 7, Liam, and 8, Joey. Couple 26 splits on the boards, folks. Here they are turning at the far end. Lane 4 chasing down by lane 6. Let's see what this looks like coming home. Lane 4 holds them off. Lane 6, great split, 24.06. Awesome effort there. Lane 6, that was Raylon Adams. Low split there, 24.06. All right, take our breath, catch our breath. All right. Talk about a shift of pace. We're going 500 freestyle for the girls, 11 and over, heat 1 of 4. You see the 3 entries there. Wonder if anybody swam in the previous relays. All right, here's the lane assignments for this heat 1 of 4. All right, I was not looking at state qualifying times there for the relays. Got a gut feeling that a couple 149s could be something. All right, 500 freestyle, 20 lengths of the pool. Oh my gosh, we're getting spammed on chats. I'm gonna try and clean that up in a second, folks. I leave it open, normally don't get spammed. Today's a bad day. All right, real quick, on the 500, if you're not familiar, there are counting placards down the far end. Those will always be odd numbers. As you see, it was put down as a 1. That's representing lengths complete for the swimmers. There are some teams that teach the swimmers to count themselves even in a 500, so count to 20 to manage their race in their head. So just as something you might come across. It's not very common. And then the other thing you might come across, the Europeans actually count down versus counting up. I think Europeans and Australians. All right, so you see a 3 put down, that's 75 yards complete. In the pool, that is, leading them out is Lily. And then we have Brooke in 4 and Verity in 5. All right. I'm going to give you a wide shot for a second. Oh, maybe it is not spam. Somebody's replying. All right. Again, the chat's open if anybody does have questions or comments. Those splits on the board are hundredths. And then I was mentioning before about the scoreboard being in that lockout or freeze. You'll see it as the swimmers come back. That is Lily in lane 3. So when you see Lily comes to the wall, the scoreboard will freeze for a period of time. So that 149.79. So right now it's in that lockout mode. If somebody went up and hit the pad, it would not register and count that as a new touch. So 149, probably 15, yeah, well, a little more than 10 seconds it comes out of that. So during the relays, swimmers don't exit the pool, and as they're climbing out beyond that time, that's when we're getting those additional touches. All right? Now you know. All right, so the swimmers down there, we're seeing 7s. Means this is 8 lanes complete, 200 yards. All right. Lily in 3, that's Brooke turning, and then Verity coming into the wall. Top right are the swimmers in heat 2. All right, since we have a small field and we have a lot of time, let's do a little ISO. All right, Lily's turning towards us. Breathing towards us, sorry. So that was Lily in 3 at a 250 yardage. This is Brooke in 4. She'll be at 250. We'll stay with Verity. She'll be breathing to her left on that way back. Both sides. Cameraman's best friend. All right. So we'll stay looking at that far end, get a quick sync. So you see the placard being put down, 11 lengths complete. So the last split for Lily, we missed it on the right-hand side, was 12 lengths or 300 yards. You see Lily seeing a 13 there. So that's how many complete at this end. All the splits will be in Meet Mobile. The scoreboard's been pretty reliable in getting all the touches and so on. So that 410 on the board for Brooke was her 300. Similarly for Verity, that 420 on the board is her 300 split. All right, 15 going down for Lily, so 16 divided by 4 is 400 yards as she returns. Every length is 25 yards. So she'll have 4 lengths when lane 3 turns. Lane 5 will have 6 lengths as she turns. All right, so we're going to have should have a bell. Weren't we at 450? Oh, there's the official. All right, so that should have been a bell when Lily was at the wall. Now you'll see Lily will get a red square just as an easy indication this is your final turn, 25 to go. You'll see a 17 being put down for lane 5. All right, so the bell is only for the lead swimmer. You'll see some championship meets, they do it for every lane. All right, Lily's finishing here. So that would have been Brooks. Let me just real quick. Nice job, Lily. 6:25. All right, so you see the red square being put down for Brooke, and then also that Verity will see that as she gets to that far end. So here's Brooke finishing up her final 25. All right, might have been a thumbs up from Lily to somebody on the side. All right, nice job, ladies. 4:15 in the afternoon, hopping in the pool, swimming for 6 and 7 minutes. Good job. That was Heat 1. Here's our entries for Heat 2. Top right are the names for Heat 3. Underway. In the pool, lane 1, Maya. 2, Sierra. 3, Kayla. 4, Nina. 5, Lena. 6, Bridget Looney. Hey, Mr. Looney, if you're out there, I made a note that, yeah, they took it a little while to get the stream from last night cleaned up. It's watchable now. 7 is Abby, and 8 is Amelia. First to turn, lane 2, Sierra. So some of the swimmers in this heat did not have a seed time, so representing that they haven't swum this in an official capacity or they have an official time to use as an entry. So we might see some separation here only because not having that time. And this is a 100 split on the right-hand wall. Sierra first to turn, lane 2, then Bridget Looney in 6. We'll jump back here. This is lane 3 turning at the 100. Lane 2 at 150. All right, let's do a little. Lane 1 is up here. We'll go with Maya. That's Maya in 1. Here's Sierra in 2. And to the closest to us is Kayla in 3. We'll take these two together. Swing down, pick up Nina in 4 and Bridget in 5. Bridget closest to us in the white cap. Oh, wait, maybe not. What's going on here? No, I'm sorry. This is Nina and Lena. Nina in 4, black cap. White cap here, that is Lena in 5, sorry. This is 4 and 5, 5 in the white cap, Lena. All right, you're seeing 9s. All right, next time they're down, we'll have 10 or 500 yards. This is lane 6. This is Bridget Looney. And then all right, and then we'll go 7 and 8. 7 is Abby, and 8 is Amelia. How about we get Amelia first, and then we'll pick up Abby at the turn. All right, Amelia going away from us, Abby white cap. All right, let's go back and resync at the far end. So that was a 13 put down for lane 2. I believe Sierra's our lead swimmer. We have a 13 going down for lane 6, an 11 for lane 7. All right, very quick, we'll go a little tighter here. So a 15 going down for lane 2, 13 for lane 8, 15 for lane 6, 13 for lane 4. What do we got up in lane 1? 13. All right, so that should be a 400 split on the board for lane 2 for Sierra. Should see a 17 here. And then we hear the bell as they're walking over. All right, so there's 17. She'll be at 18. Officials in place on the far end. We'll swing down to the start end. Lane 2's getting the bell. All right, you'll see the red squares going down for lane 2. Lane 6, next time back, she'll see red squares. That'll be a final 25 for lane 6. Let's go with Sierra on the finish, lane 2. Nice job. 6:02. Lane 6 just saw the red squares. She'll be coming back and finishing. That is Bridget Looney. Black cap here. Nice job. All right. We'll go back to the start wall, have a couple other finishers coming in. Good indication when you see the timers leaning forward. Good indication that the swimmer's finishing. So you see the timers there in 8 getting ready to look down the wall. All right, third finisher in lane 5, Lena, and then Amelia in 8. Here we have finisher in 7, I think 1 also, yep. And lane 3 coming into frame. All right, that was heat number, lane 3 just turned. Final 25 for Kayla here. Nice job, way to finish. Good job. All right, that was heat 2. Here's our swimmers for heat 3. 3 of 4. All right, names for heat 4, top right. In the pool, lane 1, Elizabeth. Then we have Victoria, Anastasia, Jillian, 1 through 4, 5 through 8, Peyton, Michaela, Maeve, and Madeline. This is heat 3 of 4. This is 75 yards complete. All the swimmers seeing a 3 put down for them. And back to the start. This is a 100 turn. All right, early on, let's do a little isolation. Lanes 1 and 2. Elizabeth against the wall. Victoria in 2. Three and 4, they're turning. Anastasia in 3. Jillian closest to us in the black cap. Then we'll go 5 and 6, Peyton and Michaela. Michaela black cap there. And then we have 7 and 8, Maeve and Madeline. All right, all the swimmers seeing 7s. We'll be at a 200 split back at the start. Let's get Madeline after she turns real quick, then we'll jump to the start. All right, here's your 200 splits. Take a look at the far end. Everybody grouped together seeing 9, so we'll be at 250 halfway mark back at the start end. Again, this is heat 3 of 4. Names for heat 4, top right. Lane 2 doesn't have the pole. I think yesterday we saw the actual placard fall off the pole and into the pool. 300 yards complete at this point. All right, give you a behind-the-scenes look of the counters. Lane 3, Anastasia, slight lead over 5, Peyton. 15's going down. Next time back will be 16, 400 yards. All right, lane 8 just off the pace, so she's at 350. Swimmers coming into view now are at 400. 4 lengths to go. So keep an eye on those splits, 35, 7, 36, 2. See if the swimmers have a little extra kick towards the back end. '17's going down. We'll be at a bell lap when we get back to the start end. Lane 3, Anastasia will get the bell. Should. No? No, no. All right, guys. All right. All right, so lane 8's going to have 75 to go. She'll see 18 at that time. Lane 3, lane 5 finishing. I didn't look at the last split. Anastasia came in 6:05. We're dropping on that. Nice swim. 5:53. That's 10 plus. Peyton came in 6:04. She's dropping 9. You got some happy parents. Awesome swim, ladies. Big drop. Elizabeth in 1 came in 6:24. She just went 6:02. Huge, 22 second, 22 plus. Victoria in 2 came in 6:14, goes 6:05. Anastasia, we told you about, came in 6:05, goes 5:53. 6:13. Maeve 6:23 seed, she goes 6:03. That's awesome. And then Michaela in 6:13 seed, goes 6:02. Awesome. If I overlook somebody, please put a comment in there. Want to definitely give the girls their due. This is heat 4. Final heat. Top right, the names for the boys in the first heat on their side. This is the 50 turn. Top of your screen, lane 1. Una, 2, Holly, 3, Maria, 4, Colette, 5, Kelly, 6, Charlotte, 7, Olivia, and 8, Paloma. All right, all the swimmers seeing 3s at that end. Couple 5:26s, middle of the pool. Impressive times, ladies. This is our 100 split. Charlotte Lose, time at the 100, lane 6. All right, we'll start at the top here again. Just a real quick buzz through. Una in 1. We'll get Holly in 2 as she turns. Here comes Holly, red cap, and Maria, green cap. And then we'll even pan back. We'll get Colette, other red cap, in 4. We'll take the turn with these 3. Pan back a little, we'll have Kelly coming in, red cap. And Charlotte is in front. We'll have to jump forward. All right, skipping a lane, that's Olivia in 7. And then all the way to the left, Paloma. All right, Charlotte, we didn't forget about you in 6, lead swimmer. She'll be turned already, coming back. Here she is. All right, she's getting a 9 with the rest of the field. When they get to that far end, we'll be at 250 yards, halfway on the right side. All right, here is the start wall. This is a 250 split. Couple girls still in the 33s. Hey, Joe. All right, jump down the far end. 11s for the swimmers. So we'll return with 12 lengths complete. Yeah, this is 300 complete here. Lane 6, Charlotte. Lane 3, Amelia. Followed by 2, Holly. 13s at this far end. All right, lead swimmers turning at the start end. We'll stay here, get to catch the rest of the field. I'll give you a different view so you see the placards. Everybody's coming down. So lane 6, lane 3, seeing 15s. We'll be at 400 yards on the right-hand side. These are our 3 lead swimmers coming down. Lane 6, lane 3, lane 2. All right, there's Charlotte at 400. 4 lengths to go. Amelia in 3, Holly in 2, 4 lengths. Lane 4 coming in, that's Colette. $17 put down for lane 6. We have a bell here for lane 6, official in place. We'll jump as she goes under the flags. Here you go. 50 to go, down and back for Charlotte. She came in 5:34. She could be 5:30. She keeps that 33:34. Shot that wall at 5:13. See if she can come home in 14:15. Came in 5:34. We're dropping on that. Yes, 5:29.55. Lane 3 coming home, 5:33. Nice job, ladies. Couple 32s coming home there for both Charlotte and Colette. All right, nice job. So a little tidbit, the 500 free is swum in New Jersey high school. It's kind of an interesting thing. Certain teams will do chants and cheers during it. Really, it's a challenging event, so all you can do for your teammates is awesome. Here it is, heat 1 of 4 for the boys. And real quick, if your kids are not at the high school level, I just got to say, go out and watch a high school meet. You know, these invitationals are great. It's good for the kids. It's really neat, you know. But a high school meet's an hour and a half in, out, very exciting. And you get a good feel for some talented kids in this area. Obviously, Scotch Plains, Fanwood, Westfield, Summits, Madison has a great high school team. I'm a little biased. I'm from Chatham, so shout out to those girls. They got preseason state ranking number 1. But go out and see a high school meet. It's really exciting. If you're into it, go down to Rutgers, see a Rutgers women's meet. They are very exciting too. Princeton has a team too. So, all right, that was my little public service announcement. And I haven't mentioned Kyle Sockwell all weekend, so I got to drop one mention. Great influencer. If you're on Instagram, look up Kyle Sockwell, Sockwell. He's was a collegiate swimmer, swam at Arizona State. Now he's doing a great job promoting swimming. Really, with the Olympics coming up in a couple years in LA, he's latched on. But he's also big promoting dual meets at the college level. He's getting like 2,000 fans out to meets at schools that really had trouble getting attendance. So, all right, that's it. All right, here we are. Lane 3 coming in, turning. That's Nicholas Roman. Lane 4 is Matthew, and lane 5, Shonak. Pardon me if I'm mispronouncing. All right, where are we? Lane 7. So we'll be at 200 for Nicholas here as he returns to the right-hand side. We'll stay with him. We have 3 swimmers. We'll catch everybody for a length. So that's a 200 split. We'll jump down. This is Shaunak in lane 5. And then in between them is Matthew here from Montclair. Matthew breathing away. Yep. We'll stay here, and then we'll catch Matthew coming back as he's breathing off his right side. All right, see the 9 going down for Matthew, see an 11 going down for Nicholas. All right, one other quick thing. I got fired up here about swimming. So there's a swimmer from Somerset County YMCA. She's a sophomore now at Virginia. If you don't know the name, Anna Moesch, M-O-E-S-C-H. Take a look her up. She is breaking records as a sophomore at Virginia. If you're not familiar, Virginia Women's Swimming has an incredible program, so you probably know the Walshes, the Kings, names like that. But Anna has done incredible things in the year and change she's there. So look her up. A great New Jersey product. And there's a lot of others, you know, obviously the Alexis out of Del Barton have gone to the Olympics. Well, Jack has gone to the Olympics, but there's a whole family of great swimmers. Other swimmers from New Jersey. But Anna is kind of the up and coming. And we also, last couple of years, we graduated a lot of other swimmers. Chloe Kim is at Princeton. Sarah Rodriguez is down at Texas. A lot of big names. So if you can't tell, I follow more. I have 2 daughters, so I follow more on the women's side. But there's also a lot of talented men going out. Oh my God, why it's escaping me from Mendham last year. Barnacle, talented swimmer, just graduated and off doing great things in college. So, all right, just supporting Jersey swimming. All right, lead swimmer of this group, lane 3, Nicholas. We'll resync where they are at that far end. 15 going down. 17 going down for Nicholas. So that last split for Nicholas was his 400. Now he's at 425. Shaunak in 5 coming back. That'll be a 400 split on the board for him. Nicholas will be turning at 450, getting the bell. Again, this is heat 1 of 4. All right, we'll have a finish here, lane 3. Lane 5 will be turning. Nicholas coming home, 31.61. Nice job. Way to go, sub-6 there, Nicholas. Did not have a time coming in. It's a kind of a statement to post that as your seed time now going forward. I think we're finishing here. We are. All right. Nice job. 6:31. All right. Matthew in the middle. Oh, I missed it. I think he saw the red squares. He'll be coming home. Again, this is heat 1 of 4. The names you see top right are your heat 2 swimmers. Here we go, heat 2. Names for heat 3 are updated. Lane 1, Daniel. 2, William. 3, James. 4, Rodell. 5, Hudson. 6, Jackson. 7, Arvav. Arav? I'm sorry. Lane 2 out in the first 50, that is William. All right, real quick, we'll do a quick pan. Daniel's in 1. We'll catch William in 2, James in 3 off his, we'll stay with William, then we'll pick up James and Rodell in a second. All right, that's lane 2, Williams. Here's James, Rodell, and Hudson, 3, 4, 5. And then we have Jackson and Arav. Jackson in the red cap. All right, so all the swimmers seeing 5s will be at 150 yards as they return back. Here's lane 2, William at 150. Go to a wide view here. Lane 2 is already turned at the far side. Everybody else seeing 7s as they get down there. This is a 200 split on the board there for William in 2. He'll be coming back into view shortly on the right-hand side. There he is. We'll take the turn, the 200 with the majority of the swimmers here in mid-pack. Right. So William in 2 saw a 9 at the far end. He'll be coming out behind the scoreboard. This is 250 yards for him at this point. Zoom in a little. All right. Lane 2 coming into view. That is William there. He sees an 11. Again, that is lengths complete. All right, so you'll see lane 1 at 11, lane 2, lead swimmer, he's at 13. So the splits on the board were 300 for the field on the previous. We'll just go back to the start. Lane 1 will be splitting 300, lane 2 splitting 350. All right, lead swimmer, lane 2, he saw 15 at that end. It's follow William. This is a 400 for lane 2. 350 for lane 1. All right, so you see the 15 for lane 3. Lane 2 saw 17, so we'll have a bell for lane 2. Majority of the field is 2 lengths off that, so they'll have 100 to go. Lane 2 has 50 to go, down and back. Digging out a 36 split there. Nice job, William. All right, let's take a wide view. So lead swimmer, top left. They'll be finishing middle of the pool lane. That's lane 4 and 6. They're turning. All right, lane 2 finishing top of the pool. 6:03. Nice job, William. Seed time 7:18. Folks, that's a minute and 15 seconds. Don't know how old that seed time was, but still going 6:03. Awesome. Came home on a 34 split. Lane 1 is turning. All right, we'll see a lot of red squares at the far end. So 4, 5, 6, 7, I think all finishing. This is lane 4. Rodell, 6:38. Same with 5 and 6. Nice job, guys. A 37:01 coming home for lane 6, Jackson. All right, lane 1 coming into view. All right, big drop there, William Frost, lane 2, 6:03.57. 7:01 up top of the screen, Daniel Davies dropping time off of 7:25. Same across the board, 6:52 going sub-7 for Arav in lane 6. Jackson, 6:48. That was a 20-plus second drop for Jackson. So nice job, guys. We are underway with heat 3 of 4. Thank you. All right, those are our 50 splits on the boards here in heat 3 of 4. All right. Let's do a little isolation. Start up here with Parker in 1. Well, we'll do Parker, Drew, and Soren, 1, 2, 3. So Parker, the furthest from us. Drew in the middle, Soren. All right. Peter Liu in 4, yellow cap. We'll do Peter and Andrew Capone. Actually, we'll just stay with Peter for a second. We'll get Andrew and Leon Lee. All right, Peter had an awesome swim last night, huge drops. Shout out to him. All right. So this is Andrew Capone and Leon Lee here. All right, they're seeing 7s. Nice job, guys. And then we have RJ and Sam. RJ in 7 just turning. Sam Herbst coming in to turn there in 8. All right, let's jump to the front. Lead swimmers turning there at 200, 208 splits, 209. So running order, lane 6, lane 5, lane 1. lane 3, lane 2. All right, so as they come down, this is kind of the lead or the running order. So as you see it, 6, 5, 1. This is a 250 split, 10 lanes halfway mark. All right, so those were 11s at the far end. It'll be 12 lengths, 300 yards. We'll take this turn with them. So we'll stay here till the whole field turns at the 300. All right, lead group going left to right. So 5, 6, 1. This will be 350. All right, 15's being put down there. 5, 6, 1. Similarly here, you see 3, 2 getting the shake, trying to motivate the swimmers. So this is 400 splits on the board. Lane 1, lane 5 in the 34s. Again, this is heat 3 of 4. Names top right are your final heat swimmers. Here we go, bell lap being put down for lane 5. Lane 1 right there too. All right, they have 2 lengths to go, down and back. We'll take a look. Take a look here from this angle. I know lane 1 looks like he has a kick here. Let's get you up there. That is Parker. He's already under the flags. Parker's gonna go low. Got to see what this split is. 29.51. He comes home 5.31 total. Awesome swim. So that 29 final split. Incredible. Nice job, Parker. His seed 6.10. So he goes about 40 seconds. 39 off his seed. Great swim. All across the board, awesome effort. Everybody dropping time. 15-second drop for Sam in 8. 5:31, 6:03, 6:05, 40. 5. Andrew Capone in 5. That was like a 15, 18. I don't know. I got to go back and look at that. He had a huge drop too. But shout out for Parker coming home on that awesome final 50. Both couple races, we saw that earlier with Nicholas Roman have an incredible final 50. So, all right, this is final heat 4 of 4, and then we'll move on to 100 backstroke for the girls. Oop, lost focus here. All right, let's go down the line. Lane 1, Alejandro. Lane 2, Evan. Where are we going? And lane 3, Jack Elmeyer. All right, that's lanes 1, 2, and 3. We'll jump up to lane 4. Jeremiah Ree. Jeremiah came in on a 4:44 seed time. See that long stroke. All right, here's 5 and 6. This is Alex and Kushal. Sorry. This is 5 and 6. All right, here's 7 and 8. Tyler and Sebi. All right, back to the start wall, 28-6 there. That's a 200 split at a 149. All right. You'll see here, lead swimmer seeing a 9 already. So again, that was a 200 split on the board. This will be a 250 at 217. Awesome. Again, ideally for a commentator, if swimmers splitting 30s, it's really easy. It takes 5 minutes to swim this, and then you could always understand every minute he's swimming 100. Jeremiah makes it hard. He's splitting so low. Not a bad thing. It's a pretty awesome thing. All right, this is 300 yards. Jeremiah is splitting that at 246. All right, let's sync up where we are. We're seeing 11s put down for majority of the field. Jeremiah here in 4 sees a 13. Let's take this turn wide. It's a 350 split. He's at 314. All right, a little distracted here, folks, but lane 4, this is a 400 split for Jeremiah. Still splitting low 28s. All right, the field's seeing 15s at that far end. We then have a bell for Jeremiah in 4. Field will be coming back at 400. This is 452 to go for Jeremiah. 411, splitting a 28. All right, I apologize to the rest of the field. We're staying here. Sub 440, awesome. Great swim, Jeremiah. All right, let's go wide here. We'll catch up with the field. I believe we have a few finishers here coming down. All right, here we are into the wall, lane 3. 4:38.94, folks. 17. So 15-18 boys, 500 free. State time, 4:57. Jeremiah just went 4:38. 38. I'm awesome. All right. Great to see it. I didn't even update the names up there. Got distracted. All right, real quick, let's. Congratulations, Jeremiah. Great swim. Oh, I didn't even. Here we go with the ladies. 100-yard backstroke. Heat 1 of 10, event 81. We're underway. 100 yards, 4 lengths of the pool. All right, names for Heat 2, top right. In the pool, though, lane 3, Catherine. 4 is Yasmin. 5, Laney. All right, here are the ladies at the 50 turn. Top right, those names are your Heat 2 swimmers. Heat 1 of 10 in the pool. All right, here we are into the finish. This is Catherine in 3. Goes 122. Yasmin coming home. She came in on a 144. There's big drops here for Yasmin. Nice job. 13-second drop. Laney coming under the flags. She'll be right on her seed time. Good job, ladies. That was Heat 1. Here's the entries for Heat 2. Names for Heat 3, top right. All right, this is the 50 turn. All right, so real quick, I don't know if you could tell, I was getting choked up there with Jeremiah's swim. It was freaking awesome. Because I'll tell you, I'll remember that. There's a few events you witness and you're like, wow, it really sticks with you. And I remember, I mentioned Sarah Rodriguez before. She swam a 200 pack at Rutgers at 152. Freaking incredible to watch, and you're watching it and you're like, is this really happening? And it sticks with you. So that's one of those swims that'll stick with you. Nice job, Jeremiah. Congratulations. Sub 440. All right, low time there. Lane 5 goes to Elaine in 5. Sorry, folks. Here we go. Heat 3. All right, this is Heat 3 of 10. We are on schedule here, 5:06. When this was supposed to go off, we're right on schedule. I think the last race is close to 8 o'clock, so still got a little bit of swimming in us, as they say. Here we go. All right, here we go with Heat 4. Names for 5, top right of your screen. All right, we're at the 75-yard mark, final 25. Lead swimmer there in lane 6. That's Molly. Molly brings home the load time there. Nice job, a 1:14.25. Dropping 6+ off a 1:21.28. Call it 7 because it's more than 7. Nice job, Molly. Here we go with Heat 5. Names for 6, top right. All right, at the 50, top of the pool, Kennedy Soto in 2, looks first to turn, splitting a 33.5 on the front half. There's the ladies at the 75-yard mark. All right, Kennedy came in 1:19.29. We're dropping almost 10, 9.8 something. Awesome. Kind of it drops across the field. Nice job, ladies. 1:15s. That was 5. Here's 6. At the 50, lane 1, Arnola looks first to turn. Just didn't get a touch there. That's fine, though. If you're either left or right or too low, it won't recognize it. But big push here, second half from lane 7. That is Olivia Beamer. Olivia came in 1:15.6. We're dropping on that. 1:08.4. That's 7 plus. 112 up top for Arnola. That's dropping off a 117. Great job. Here we go. Heat 7 of 10. All right. 7's about to start. Names for 8, top of your screen. Pretty even across the board here in 7. Here we are at the 50. Lane 1, lane 8, lane 7, lane 5. Looks to turn. Back at the 75. Lane 8, lane 5, maybe. Lane 8 is Sienna. Lane 5, Sophia Poo. Evelyn Dang up in 1. Keep an eye up there, too. Maybe a little outside smoke? Yes. Way to be, ladies. We go 8-1-5 finish order. 111 for 8. That's dropping off a 114.4. It's 3 plus. Nice job there, Sienna. She goes low in that heat. And again, I'm not saying first place, second place, and so on. Every swimmer's just trying to improve their time, so recognizing that effort. All right, 8 is in the pool. Names for 9, top right. Lane 5, lane 2, running order here. 5, Mayuka. Lane 2, Katie Odell. Mayuka came in 111 even. She goes 106.33. Nice job. Lane 2, Katie goes 107.04. Came in on a 112.03. So that is 4.99. Nice job, ladies. This is Heat 9. Nine of 10. Top right, you'll see the entries for the final heat. Again, this is Heat 9. All right, ladies, shoulder to shoulder across the board here. Lane 2, maybe Maya first to turn. 32.67 up to a 34.4, so about a second and a half split in the field. I think it's hard on the backstroke because the flip turn that time is registered basically after you turned, right? You're kicking off the wall. So some people, there's a lot of variables in that. That's my point. It's not like a finish time where you're using your hand. So, all right, lane 2 is then to go low, though. That's Maya. She came in 108.89. We're dropping 3/4 of a second. Nice job. That was heat 9. Here is heat 10, final heat. Then we'll go to the boys. We have 8 heats on that side. Ladies are underway. That is lane 3, Magnolia first to turn, splitting a 30-60 on that front half. She continues to lead at the 75 mark. Looks like she'll go low time here, lane 3. She does, 103.59. That's right on her seed. All right, everybody right about their seed. That was the final heat for the ladies. Now we'll move to the guys. Heat 1 of 8. Oh, shucks, folks, I hit the wrong button. I just looked away. I'm sorry. Again, this is heat 1 of 8. Guys coming home on the finish. Low time there in lane 4, Paul. 123, dropping off a 128.8 seed. Nice job. 124 down there for Jamie. Did not have a seed time. Now he goes to bed knowing he has a seed time. Good job. All right, here we go. Heat 2. Again, heat 2 of 8. All right, the guys at the 50 turn. All right, ready at the 75 turn there, lane 7. That's Cooper Wong. Putting space on the field. Cooper came in on a 125 seed. Dropping 15 on that. Nice job. That was heat 2. Names for 3. Here we go. 3 in white. Top right. Names for 4. Sorry. Orange text next race. This is heat 3 in the pool. First to turn, lane 3, Preston. Followed by lane 8, Frank. All right, coming into the finish, lane 3 continues to lead. That is Preston. Came in on a 116.34. He just went 109.3. 109.03. Nice job. 110, 111. 6 sec. Frank down in 8. Had a 6-second drop there. This is heat 4. All right, we are on heat 4 of 8. On deck after this will be 50 freeze. I gotta get up and stretch now. All right, that's a 50 turn there. Guys are at the 75 mark. Into the finish, tight one here between lanes 3 and 4. Lane 3, that is Stanley Lee, goes low there. 109.41, dropping off a 112.55. Nice improvement, Stanley. Here we are, heat 5, names for 6 are top right. All right, the guy's at the 50, lead swimmer there in lane 4. That's Blake. Closely followed by lane 5, that's Mike Engel. Coming into the finish, Mike having a bigger second half. Big push there, he goes low, 105.03. That's a 4-second drop off of 109.36. See that 32 coming home. This is heat 6. Oh, shucks. Hold on, folks. Huh. There they go. All right. Had a little issue there. Sorry about that. Six is in the pool. Sorry, wrong way there. This is heat 6 in the pool. Names for 7 are updated top right. Keep an eye, top of the screen, coming home. Low time, lane 1. That is Cooper. Came in on a 108.14. He just went 101.53. Nice job, Cooper. That's a high 6, almost 7. Awesome swim. This is heat 7 now. Names for heat 8 updated top right. 7 is in the pool, second to last heat here. Then we're moving into 50 free. Lane 3, first to turn. That is Ryan. All right, and into the finish. We're tight here in lanes 3, 4, and 5. Touch on the wall goes to lane 3, Ryan. Ryan came in 104 flat, basically. That's 1.3. Nice job. All right, this is heat 8, final heat. All right, final heat, heat 8 of 8. Couple guys sub 1. See if anybody else can join the party. Underway. All right, let's get into our ready position. 50 free on deck for the girls. Things are going to pick up the pace here. All right, you see the names on the top right. That is our first heat for the girls. We have 11 heats. That is lane 5, first to turn at 28.3. That's Matthew Sturgeon in 5. Couple guys hanging on his hip there. And into the wall. Let's go, sub 1. Oof, right off it. 100.05 for lane 6, Ronan. Dropping off a 100.69 down to a 100.05, 58.29. That's improving for Matthew Sturgeon. Great swim there. 59.06 for Anthony, kind of right on his, he was a high 58. He just went low 59. 100.41 was Christian in 3, dropping off a 100.57. All right, 50 free, down and back, folks. Pick up the pace. Here we go, heat 1 in the pool. God bless you. All right, and into the wall. Here we go. That is lane 6 going low time there. Elaine came in 37. She just went 32.17. Nice job. Heat 2. Names for 3, top right. All right, 2 is in the pool. Lane 2 out like a flash. Neem Hall came in 33.10. We're going sub 30. Awesome. That's a 4+ drop. She doesn't go sub 30. She goes 28.8. Awesome. Nice swim. Neem? If I'm mispronouncing it, I apologize. This is heat 3. All right, keep an eye. 28.8. Awesome time there. Three is in the pool. Names for 4, top right. Here we are into the finish. Tight one, maybe lane 5. It is Davis, Brooke Davis, 30.72, dropping off a 31.78. That's a second plus. This is heat 4. Underway with 4. All right, I'm not going to announce that I'm updating the names on the top right. Please just kind of assume that that's going to be done. If I do have an issue, I will let you know. All right, all girls in this heat above 30. See if anybody's cracking that. We do, yes, 29.16. Olivia Beamer, been saying her name a lot. Big improvements. 29.98 up top there. Haley Malin. Way to swim, ladies. 5 is in the pool. Names for 6, top right. I said I wasn't going to say it, and I said it. Into the finish, lane 3, Hadash goes sub 30, awesome. A couple others, I think 6 gets a touch. Stella Sullivan sub 30. Again, more girls breaking that. Here we go with heat 6. All right, only lane 4 was sub 30 out of this group. Looks like Julia's gonna go low time here. 27.6, awesome. That's a 2-second improvement. Julia Goldman there, already on an impressive 29.8. She goes 27.6. That is heat 6. Here we go with 7. All right, the official said stand. All right, really quick reset. All right. So she said stand, and then basically said take your mark. Heat 7 in the pool. Tight across the board. Low time looks like lane 4, 29.2. That's improving for Katrina. We're underway here. '80s in the pool. Low time, lane 4. It's Caitlin. She goes 28.06, dropping off a 28.66. Nice job. This is heat 9 in the pool. Keep an eye on lane 6. Kennedy Soto said that name a lot today. 26.97, dropping off a 28.10. Awesome swim, Kennedy. Underway here. This is 10 of 11 in the pool. Impressive seed times there, 26s and 27s in this group. Lane 4 going low, 26.71 for Amelia Marie, improving on her seed time. All right, folks, keep an eye on lane 4. Underway. Hannah Wilson came in 24.31. She's in 4. All right, off that, but awesome swim. Awesome to have a 24.3 under your belt, Hannah. She goes low, 25.6, 26s. Everybody else right about their seeds. Nice job, ladies. That is the final heat for the ladies. Here we go. Heat 1 for the boys, guys, the men, the dudes. Heat 1 of 12. Look. All right, swimmer's allowed to, he's going to get up and reset. 5:45. We're right on time, folks, so we are underway. Did they DQ him and they took him off the board? I don't think so, but they shut his lane off. All right. That is Leon Silva in 5. Lane 5. I don't know why they shut his lane off. All right, he comes home. He gets a time posted, 28:7. Oh, maybe he was added. I don't know. I had his name. That's interesting. That was Heat 1. Here we go at Heat 2. We are on Heat 2 of 12 for the guys. Logan in 7 came in with no time. Same with Gianluca up in 2. There's Logan into the wall. He now has a time of 26:54. He has an impressive time. That was Heat 2. Here's Heat 3. This is Heat 3 in the pool. Lane 3, Heat 3 going low. That's Sebastian breaking the 30 mark. Nice job, Sebastian. Congrats. Also looks like lane 7 and 8 also breaking that. Did I not update the names? I didn't. Oh, wait. Maybe those are right. They are. All right, I confused myself. I saw Moon. Didn't we have a Moon prior? Maybe not. All right, 4 is in the pool. Lane 6 looks to go low. That is RJ North, 28.26. He's breaking the 29 barrier. Nice job. Five's in the water. Here we go with 6. Low time there, 26:43. That was lane 4. That's a big drop. I'm sorry, Mateo. Awesome. Came in 28.7. Just went 26 change. I was not tracking that one. Sorry. This is Heat 6. Lane 2 looks to go low here. That's Durin. He also goes 26.8, dropping off a 28.4. Seven in the water. Lane 7 goes low. That's Joey. He's also in the 26 club, dropping off at 27.78. This is Heat 8. All right, we're shoulder to shoulder. Maybe lane 2, slight edge. Half a body there, lane 2, EJ. He's in the 25 club, dropping off 27.24. Great swim, EJ. Maybe lane 7. Yep, big touch there. 25 club for him. That's Drew dropping off 26.7 down to 25.5. Awesome. Boys are flying. This is heat 10 of 12. Then we'll catch our breath after this. Lane 6 goes low, 24 club. That is Liam, nice job. Dropping off 25.7 down to 24.8. Awesome. Oh, shucks, I didn't update names. All right, real quick, folks. Here's the names of the, no? I was totally wrong on this one. I am sorry. All right, I owe it to these guys. All right, they're coming back. What the heck happened there? 11 of 12. Some reason something didn't write or read correctly. All right, I apologize. Heat 11. Who goes low there? Of course, Nicholas Roman. 24.54, dropping off 25.25. I apologize, Nicholas. This is final heat. Lane 6 going low, 23.83 for Cooper. That's almost a full second drop off of 24.67. Nice job, guys. That was awesome. Great swims. I can't hit the button. 200 breaststroke. As I said, we're going to slow it down a little bit. 5 heats here for the ladies. The girls. All right, I apologize. If anybody wanted that video with their name on it from, where were we, Heat 11? Shoot me an email, commoнгuysportsnj@gmail.com. We have the technology. Again, if anybody is looking for like recruiting film and, you know, coach says they want the clip versus pointing them at YouTube, we can help you out. YouTube does allow you to generate what they call clips. Or if you're watching on your computer, you could just simply right-click on the video, and there's a link, and it says share this or copy link at this time. So if you wanted to do that, or there is the ability to build clips. So anything we can do to help you out, let us know. Sorry about that. I really apologize to that Heat 11 group there. Marlon, Ryan, Aldis, Jack, Colin, Christian, Nicholas, Ethan. All right, back to where we are here. This is Heat 1. For event 85. Ladies in the pool, Abby, Jill, and Haley. I'm doing a terrible job tracking them. That is Abby in lane 3. Here we go, white cap. This is Haley in 5. Between them is Jill coming back at us. All right, I think that was, I should be able to do the math, and I'm struggling here. I think that was a 150 for Abby on the right wall. She was splitting 45. So kind of guesstimate minute and a half, 2:15 at the 150. I think we're coming into the finish, and as the timers lean forward, gives me a little confidence that I can still do some math. 3:00:33 for Abby. Did not have a seed time. She would have been in heat 4 of 5 with that time had she come in with that. And coming into the wall is Haley in 5 with the white cap. She also did not have a seed time. She goes 3:18. She would have been in heat 2 of 5. All right, let's catch up with Jill here, lane 4. All right, so we're coming up on 6 p.m. here in beautiful Madison, New Jersey, the Rose City. Approximately going until 8 o'clock, so we have about 2 more hours of swimming here. Here we go with heat 2. Heat 2 of 5. Names, top right are your heat 3 swimmers. This will be a 75-yard turn on the left-hand side here. We're at 100, lane 1, first to turn up there. That is Deanna, 126.5 at the 100. All right, real quick, we'll take a look. Top left of your screen. That's 125 for the ladies on the left wall. Jump up there with Deanna in lane 1, 150. She's got 2 lanes to go. Running order, lane 3 is next to turn. And we have lane 5. Two, 6, 4, and then we have 7 and 8. All right, lead swimmer Deanna up in 1. We'll pick up her, and then second place running order, lane 3, Eleanor. Nice swim, 3:00.81, dropping 31 seconds off 3:31. Eleanor dropping time, she goes 3:05, dropping off a 3:18. And lane 5, 3:12 for Lily, dropping 3 seconds, 3 and change, off a 3:15.59. Nice job, ladies. One swimmer out in lane 8. Here we go, heat 3. All right, that was the wedge on lane 8. That's what that noise was. In the pool, heat 3. All right. That is lanes 4 and 5 turning simultaneously. Samantha and Kaya. Maybe Kaya. All right, now Kaya first to turn. That's 100 split, 123.4. All right, everybody's turned at the 100. We jump forward to the 125 here. $150 on the right-hand wall. We'll jump forward with the lead group here. We'll be at 175. We'll catch them turning here. Let's look at the 3 lead swimmers here coming home. Tight one. It's Board goes to lane 4, Samantha. 2:54.7. That's a big drop off of 3:02.44. Same with Kaya in 5. She came in 3:05.52. Just went 2:55. It's like a 10-second, 10 plus. Nice job. Heat 4 is in the pool, folks. 4 of 5. Those names you see in orange are the swimmers in the final heat. Then we have 3 heats for the boys, the men. Lanes 3, 4, 5 all grouped together. That is Mayuka, Mora, and Trisha. Take a look at the 3 in the middle of the pool. All right, everybody's turning here at 150. 2 lengths to go. Into the finish. This is lane 4, Mora. She goes low there, 2:44. Came in on a 2:49.5. That's 5-second drop. Nice swim all around. Improving on the edges too. Pima and Aria, sorry. Final heat. In this final heat, we have Emma, Katrina, Sierra, Valeria, Holly, Sasha, Mishka, and Caitlin. Turning at 50. On deck is going to be the boys, heat 1 of 3. That's a 150 turn. This is lane 5. Holly bringing it home. Came in on a 236.8. She'll be dropping on that. Nice swim, Holly. 235.9. .240 lane 3 right on your seed. 3, 4 on their seeds. 246, couple second drop. Caitlin down in 8. Almost 2 full seconds. This is heat 1 for the boys. Heat 1 of 3 in the pool. All right, the boys coming back to the 100 turn here on this right-hand wall. Lane 4, that is Aldous leading them out, followed by Daniel up in lane 1, and then lane 5, the other Daniel Ma. All right, lead swimmers already turned there, lane 4. Here we see lane 1 turning, and then lane 5. We'll see the field coming into view. Swing to the start end will be at 150 with Aldous in 4. All right, let's go a little wider here, see the field. All right, so lead swimmer, lane 4 at the left-hand wall. Let's come home with him. Oh, try this camera. This is Aldous bringing it home. Came in on a 308. Just went 239. That's an almost 20-second drop. Nice swim. Lane 1 following him in 249 for Daniel. Did not have a seed time. It's a nice swim. And then Daniel Ma in 5 came in 308.99. Call it 309. So that's a 18 and change drop down to a 250.72. That was heat 1 of 3. A few more swimmers coming in. Great effort, guys. Here we are with our heat 2. lanes 2 and 3, lead swimmers there. That is Smarin and Gabe. I'm sorry, 3 and 4. My apologies. That is Gabe and Othray. They're ready to make the turn and working their way back. We'll be at 150 for the 2 lead swimmers here, right-hand wall. Haruma in 5 next to turn. And we have Christopher and Charlie, and then up in 1 and 2 is Smaran and Gabe. No, I'm sorry, Luca and Smaran. The formatting on this one page is terrible. Sorry, folks. All right, lead swimmers are ready to head back home. You see them coming out behind the scoreboard. That is lanes 3 and 4. Low time goes to Gabe there in 3. Dropping a bunch, came in 2:55.52, just went 2:36. Othray came in 2:49, went 2:36. Nice drop, guys. All right, one more swimmer coming into the wall, and that's going to conclude our Heat 2. Here we go with our Heat 3 swimmers. Lane 3, first to turn at the 100. That's Alexander Fu there in 3, leading at the 125 here. All right, we're coming back into the finish. Alexander in 3 continues to lead. Alexander came in on a 2:38.37. 2:30.62, almost 8-second drop. Nice job, Alexander. Next to the wall is lane 5, EJ. Dropping off an already impressive 2:37. EJ dropped to a 2:34. And Atharva in 4, dropping fractions of a second, but always being proven. Nice job. I said it earlier, ABC, always be coaching, but ABI, always be improving. So I had a scenario earlier session. Female swimmer went, got a state time, came out of the pool. You think, everything's fine. Met up with the coach. Coach gave a great, congratulations. But then said, we saw something, little. Let's look at thinking about tweaking this couple things. So ABC, always be coaching. This is event 87, girls 13 and over, 100-yard butterfly, heat 1 of 5. We'll try and get some faces as the ladies turn on the back half of this. I don't think I can trademark Grandma Cam, but that's the intent. So as the swimmers get back to the far end, we'll kind of zoom in, see some faces. Here they are at the 75. Again, this is heat 1 of 5. Let's see who we can see. There we go. All right, here we are into the finish. Low time there. Got ahead of me there, lane 5. Aranola came in 127.07, goes 123.35. Nice 3 3/4 improvement. This is our heat 2 swimmers. All right, this is heat 2 of 5 in the pool. We'll try and get some faces early on here. Lane 2 off fast. All right, we'll catch them turning here. Guess we had a no-show in 1. Lane 2 is Sophia Poe, pardon me. All right, Sophia in 2 has turned. We caught her on the previous. We'll keep an eye as she's going to go under the flags. We'll jump to the finish to catch her. Here's the field. All right, here we go. Sophia on the finish, lane 2. She came in 123.84. She just went 112.84. Thanks for making the math easy, Sophia. 11 seconds on the dot. Great improvement. All right, here we go, heat 3. All right, we'll do this near side this time. We'll get the far side next time. Here are the ladies turning at the 50 here in heat 3 of 5. All right, folks, just a quick, I don't know, call it a fair warning. At the end of this event, after the couple more heats, I need to step away, run to the men's room. So I'm going to kind of put it in auto drive. So for the men's heats, I hope I'll be back by the end of it, but there's going to be a few heats of the men's, the boys, that will not have the name overlays, and I apologize in advance for that, but these 4-hour sessions are a little challenging. All right, here we are into the finish. Low time, 112.75 to lane 5. That's Molly. She came in 115.08. Nice job. All right, here we go. Heat 4 of 5. Underway, 4 of 5. There was a indication somebody wanted to sit in and commentate a little, but I guess that did not come together. It wasn't my doing. Somebody through a coach suggested that there's somebody, but so if there is anybody out there in the future, you hear I'm doing a meet, you'd be interested to see how this works, or put on the headset and commentate or read names, please, if you see I'm lined up for a meet, please reach out. The About page has my email address. I've done a few meets. Definitely having swimming knowledge helps me a lot because my depth of knowledge, but also just having somebody else pick up some of the name reading. So if you're interested in the future, please reach out. All right, and into the finish, here we are. That was Heat 4, low time there on the board, 108.04 for 6. That is Julia Goldman. Came in 111. Underway. All right, so the next heat is Event 88, Heat 1 of 6. So Jack McDonough, Hayden Charles, James Moon, Leon Silva. I'm going to have to step away, so just be ready. The scoreboard will be updated, and I will make the scoreboard bigger so you can see it easier. But you just won't get early indication of who's coming. All right, again, this is final heat, Heat 5 for the girls. Here they come into the finish. Low time looks like lane 7. Hey, lane 6 gets a touch, 105.55. How about that? On her seed, nailed it exactly. Colette, 105.55 seed, 105.55 finish. How about that? All right, folks, we got to do a little. All right, so what you're seeing might look confusing, but it's kind of the best I could do for the time being. Top right is your start window. You can ignore this next race thing. I'll shut that off. All right, top right is your start window. Top left, you can see the scoreboard clearly. So the ordering's not great, but so they'll go from top right to kind of bottom right and then bottom left. All right, I'll be back as soon as I can. Hopefully everything keeps running cleanly. right, folks. Back in the saddle, as they say. All right, we are on Heat 4 here. I'll get you the names for Heat 5 shortly. Top right of your screen now will have the names for Heat 5. And into the finish. Low time on the board, 101.58 for Midland. That's Ben. Big drop off of 108. Okay, here we go. Heat 5 of 6. Why is the name? Sorry, those aren't. Oh, they were right. They were right. I was reading the top and the bottom. All right, 5 of 6 in the pool. Top right names for 6 of 6. Here we are at the 50. Evan Weinberger in 8th, 27.46 on the front half. Evan's leading at the 75. Came in on a 106.36. Got to get a little FaceTime for Evan. Catch the field coming in on the finish. He goes 101.22, dropping off a 106.36. That is impressive. Nice job. Final heat, Heat 6 of 6. All right, big guys in the pool, final heat. Then we'll have 200 freestyle, 7 heats for the girls. Lane 1, lane 4, that's Raylon and Matthew, first to turn at the 50. Let's catch lane 1, lane 4 as they're coming at us. And into the finish, lane 4, Matthew goes low, 57.20. Came in with this 55.90 seed, freaking awesome time. Matthew goes 57.20. All right, here we go. Heat 1 of 7 for the girls, 200 freestyle, 8 lengths. Catherine, Olivia, and Kaya. If anybody has feedback on that kind of quadrant view, I've done that a couple times, depending on long course and so on. And I didn't anticipate needing it, so I didn't have a good layout, but I can lay it out in the sense of the left half, right half of the pool, stitch it together. I see some other people doing that. Takes away the need to jump cameras and so on, and then gives more real estate for a larger scoreboard. So if anybody has strong feelings on that, the chat is open. You can put them in there. You can shoot us an email, commontguysportsnj@gmail.com, or click on that About page. On YouTube, you'll find our email there. But there's a trade-off, obviously. You know, you don't get as big of a picture at the start and so on. The software and hardware I can do a certain level of manipulation. I'm not, can't compete with ESPN, and you don't want to see my talking head like the Manning brothers. I could do that, but again, you don't want to see my face. So here to celebrate the kids. So any ideas like that? We talked about having swimmers come by and do, post-race interviews, but again, logistics don't work. We're up in the balcony and so on. So That's that. But always open to ideas. The biggest thing I'm working on, I don't know if I said it to this group yesterday, but at the finish here, popping the times onto the lane so you don't have to, scan from lane 4 up to the scoreboard. I'm working on a way to do that, and hopefully come the Summit Deep Freeze meet in about a month, I have something working and debut that then. We'll see. But all right, again, this is heat 1 of 7. See the timers leaning forward. We're finishing here in lane 4. Olivia Beamer. She goes 2:16 and a 2:17 for Kaya. Both of them came in on a 2:55, 2:58. So nice swim there, ladies. And Catherine in lane 3 did not have a seed time, but she does now. Good job, Catherine. This is heat 2 of 7. All right, why is the stream now complaining? Shucks. 6:42. All right, if you're seeing a little buffering or jitter, that is on my side. For some reason, the network is struggling here. Shucks, what's going on here? All right, folks, if you can hear me, we're having a little network issue, ironically, now. What the heck? All right, I don't know if you can hear me, but we're having a little network issue here, trying to get through it. Hopefully it recovers shortly. I am recording a copy if you can hear me. What the heck? What is going on here? Come on. All right, folks, if you can hear me now, I had a little network hiccup there. I am recording a copy, so we have everything. I just don't know why, out of the blue. Looks like we're recovered. If somebody could put a comment or I'm double checking. All right, folks, hopefully you can hear me. We look to be back stabilized coming into the finish here on Heat 3. I don't have the names cleaned up for Heat 4 yet. All right, we're underway with Heat 4. Looks like we're back running. Sorry about that for those swimmers and those viewers interested in those swimmers. Just had a network hiccup and looks like it cleaned itself up. All right, this is our 50 turn here in Heat 4 of event 89. Heat 4 of 7. Here we are at 150. Lane 4, Isabel with the low split there. Coming back into the finish, here we are. Lane 4 goes low. That is Isabella, followed by lane 6. Celine dropping 8. Isabella dropping 3 and change. Did I not update? Where are we? Oh, shucks, I'm late, folks. All right, I'm going to just flash these names. These are the ladies in the pool. Top right now, the names are updated for the next heat. So 5 is in the pool. Those are the names for 6. This is 100 split on the right-hand side. It'll be 125 here. Victoria in 4, leading at the 150. Right to her left is Aurora in 3. Aurora goes low. She came home 33.11, 2:15.16 for her. That is a 4 and change, 4.5 second drop. Nice improvement. Here we go, heat 6. Names for 7, top right. Isla in 2, first return at the 50. Take you all the way back to the start end. Here we are at the 100. All right, lane 6, Sienna having a big second half. Be at 150 here. Sienna splitting a 32.7 on that 100 to 150 leg. See her there, lane 6, first return. Great strong stroke. Sienna's gonna go low time here. She came in 2:17.52. She goes 2:08. 72, that's 8.8 second drop. Nice job. Awesome swim. Here we are, final heat, heat 7. Top rider boys' names for their first heat up next. Lane 4, lane 5, turning simultaneous. That is Amelia, Maria, and Allie. At the 100, 100.12, 101.54. Nice job, middle of the pool. That's 125. It's a 150 split of 132.57 for Amelia Maria. All right, she goes 2:04.53. Came in on a 2:03.03, which is incredible time right there. Back that up right on her seed. Nice job. 2:08, 2:16. Everybody else, drop down there. Maya Tyndale in 8, swam a 2:12.08, came in on a 2:15.12. Good swim, Maya. On to the boys, heat 1 of 6. So we're a few minutes ahead of schedule. This event was supposed to start off 7:04. It is just 7 o'clock here. So we have about a half hour of swimming, folks. So we'll have these 200 freestyle, then we have 100 IMs, 3 heats and 3 heats. 6 heats here. All right, hopefully, network issue. Looks like we restabilized. Hopefully everybody's able to see and hear everything. I show 50 people out there, so I appreciate you joining. And I hope you're enjoying the coverage. All right, lead swimmer ready at the left-hand wall. That is lane 4, D-Rin. He'll be at 150 on the right side. All right, everybody else turning at 150 on the right side. Lead swimmer all the way down at 175. We're turning for home here. You see him crisscross with the field. We'll come home with D-Rin, and then we'll jump back to the field. He came in on a 2:44. It's a nice drop. 17 seconds. Nice job, guys. That was our Heat 1. Heat 2's in the pool. Names for 3, top right. Turning at the 50, lane 8, Hudson Westwood, Madison Aerial YMCA. Boys at the 75. This is 100 splits on the board. Hudson continues to lead, followed by lane 3, Liam. We'll swing all the way to the start end here. Looks like Liam's then an out split, splitting 36-4. See how he is relative to the field. 37, 39, 40. So that's low split, lane 3, Liam. Liam's gonna go low time there up in lane 3. Came in on a 2:28. Just goes 2:15, 2:18 down there for Hudson. That's dropping 18 seconds off a 2:36. 17.8-ish. We'll call it 18 because easy math. Swam at 2:18.7. Came in 2:36. Nice job, Hudson. This is Heat 3 of 6. All right, lead swimmer out there at lane 4, Jonathan. $58.5 at the 100 for Jonathan. 31.6. Swing to the far end, lead swimmer ready turning at the 125. All right, here's Jonathan at the 150, lane 4, 33 split. Came in on a 217. He puts up another 33. He's sub 105. We'll see what's in the tank. He's already turned. Let's follow him home. Might have a significant drop here. Pulling for you, Jonathan. Again, came in 217. He goes 202. I don't know. Awesome. That's 15-second drop. 212 there for North. That's a 5-second drop. 218 at the bottom for Sebastian. That's a 9-second, 8.5. Call it 9. Here we go, heat 406. All right, seeing some big efforts here. Nice swim, that previous one, Jonathan. I paused for a second because I wasn't sure. The scoreboard was behind my arm and I couldn't see his finish time. So that's why there was like that uncomfortable pause there because I didn't see his time because my arm was in the way. All right, lane 1, first to turn there. That's EJ. All right, lane 1, EJ continues to lead. He's right at a minute 1:00.75. This is heat 4 of 6. All right, lane 3, lane 5 chasing him down. Joey in 3, Mike Engel in 5. We are at 150, couple 33 splits, 3 33s there. Field trying to chase him down. Keep an eye top left of your screen. Lane 3 looks to have a second half push here. That's Joey. Joey from Ridgewood. All right, we'll take it wide. Joey's gonna go low time, 2:06.60, improving off his 2:13.7. Up top, 8-second improvement for EJ. 3-second, 3.5 down the bottom for Sergio. Nice job. Low time though, 2:06. This is our heat 5. You don't want to see those names. All right, couple empty lanes here. Final heat names are on the top right of your screen. Near the boys turning at 50. All right, boys at 100, a 56.6 there for Haspel. That is Cooper. And a 59.6 right next to him for Ryan. I don't know, was that bad turn or do you think he was done? All right. All right, here we come into the wall. Lane 3, lane 5. Lane 5 goes low time 2:04.23 for Cooper. That's improving off of 2:07.20. 2:04 for lane 3. That's improving off of 2:08.66. This is our final heat. All right, names you see top right is or are Heat 1 entries for the next event, 91, which is our next race. 100-yard IM for the girls. This is our 100 turn. Still posting 30s, 3 swimmers posting 30s. We're at 150. One swimmer sub 130. All right, it's getting loud in here. Trying to push the guys, bring them home. (2:00.18) dropping time. No, wait, sorry, that's lane 5. Carter dropping a bunch off of 2:02.74. 2:01. Ronan just off his already impressive 2:00.44. Here are the ladies. All right, 2 and change for Carter there. I didn't see the outsides. Nice race in the middle, guys. Big effort. Carter and Ronan, teammates from Montclair YMCA. All right, 100-yard IM. I'm sorry I wasn't really filling you in. 25 yards of each stroke. That is the back to breast transition, and then we'll breast to free at the far end. Entries for Heat 2, top right of your screen. Low time, lane 4, 1:13.96 to Nicole. That's a 12 3/4 improvement off of 1:26.46. Nice job, Nicole. 125. Looks like across the board, everybody dropping time. Nice job late in the day. Heat 2's off. Names for Heat 3, top right. All right, here the ladies' halfway part. Back to breast transition. There'll be 25 to go at that far wall. Freestyle home. First to turn, lane 4, Sophia. On her right shoulder is lane 5, Kaya. Putting together that standard chevron there, middle of the pool, low seeds, holding it up. Lane 4 goes low, 112.43. That's a 8+ second off of 120.49. Kaya also came in 120. She goes another 112. Awesome job. Across the board, dropping time. Nice job, ladies. Final heat, final race for the ladies. All right, names you see top right are the boys, heat 1 of 3. This is final heat for the ladies. Lane 4, Alexa first to turn there. Alexa first to turn at the 75. Ladies freestyling at home. Alexa's gonna go low time there. She goes 107.18, dropping off a 110.01. Nice job. Another 107 next to her. Mayuka came in on a 112.89. That's 5+. Across the board, everybody dropping time. Here we are, boys, heat 1 of 3. Nice job, ladies. Way to wrap up the evening. Again, this is heat 1 of 3 for the boys. Halfway mark, 50 down, 50 to go. All right, bringing it home. That is lane 7. Where's the names? Sorry, Logan. He comes home, 106.29. Logan didn't have a seed time. That 106 would have put him second, third, fourth lane in the final heat. Fourth fastest. All right, here we go, heat 2. Underway with heat 2. Names top right are your heat 3 final swimmers for this evening, this session, this meet this year. So glad you could join us if you're jumping off. Sorry about that little hiccup we had a little earlier. I will post a recording which will have that particular race. Lane 4, first to turn. It's Owen Moy. Been saying his name a lot today. Having a good meet. All right, Owen came in on a 1:16.58. Here's Owen into the finish, 1:07.31. That's 9-second improvement. Nice swim. 1:17 on the outside, 10 seconds for Alec. What else we got? 1:24 improving, 1:15, 5-second from Luca. Improvement there in lane 3. We are underway, final race. Boys hugging the lane there. That is 4 and 5, Nicholas and Aldous. Lane 4, Nicholas Roman. Coming home on the freestyle. Nicholas came in 1:03.71. 1:00.59. Awesome swim. All right. Nice swim, guys. Good sportsmanship. All right, 1:00.59, Nicholas Roman. That puts an exclamation point, 3-second drop. Knocking on the 1:00 mark there. All right. Well, guys, girls, great effort swimming. Mom, dad, aunts, uncles, grandparents, friends and family joining remote. Hope you enjoyed the coverage. Mike, Coming Guy Sports. We got to pack up and get out quickly, so going to sign off quickly. Again, the stream will be available to rewatch. I will upload a better, higher quality video, and we hope to catch you sometime in the future. We're going to sign off real quick. We got to pack up. Thanks so much. Let me check comments. Anything? Nope. All right. Appreciate you all for joining. We will see you sometime soon. Good night.